I'm Nancy Drew. This is my center of operations, my desk. Go ahead and poke around. Thanks to Prudence Rutherford, the wealthy socialite whose necklace I helped recover while solving that scarlet hand case a while back, I'm on my way to Venice, Italy. Apparently, someone there has been dressing up in a mask and cape and stealing valuable pieces of art. The news media call him the Phantom, not only because of the way he dresses, but because he leaves behind so few clues. Prudence, who loves Venice and belongs to an organization dedicated to preserving the city's art, is outraged the thief hasn't been caught yet. So she talked someone she knows at the GDIF, the Italian version of our FBI, into having me help the police in their investigation. She arranged for me to stay in Venice in the palazzo she used to own, which now belongs to a well-to-do widow named Margherita Faubourg. Beyond that, all I know for sure is that I'll be working undercover, and as soon as I arrive, the police will send me something that will lead me to my assignment. What it will be, I have no idea. But am I excited? Oh, see!
Open the door!
Oh, no! Well, Nancy, things are not looking good. What the heck happened? This case started out so well. I mean, what could be better than waking up in Venice, Italy? Let's see, what should I wear?
Calamari in vendita qui, solo da me, appena pescati?
Hello, you must be the American Margarita mentioned. I'm Colin Baxter.
I'm Nancy Drew.
If you're looking for Margarita, she's up on the Altana, the rooftop garden.
Where are you from?
Oxford, England. At least, that's where I was born. I live here now and intend to do so for a very long while. Although I say that with no small amount of guilt.
Why do you feel guilty?
People like me and Helena are the reason true Venetians are slowly going extinct. We foreigners come to Venice, fall in love with her, and wind up staying. High demand for food and housing results in high prices, which in many cases means the people who were born here have to leave because they can no longer afford to live here. If I could be granted one wish, it would be to have been born here. That way I would feel entitled to live here, and I would know how to speak Italian.
You don't speak Italian?
Much as it shames me to admit it, no. Languages don't come easily to me. And since I am able to do what I do without knowing Italian, I'm a mosaicist. Right now I'm restoring this 14th century mosaic, which means, without getting overly technical, I'm cleaning the tesserae that remain in place, repairing those that have been damaged, and replacing those that are missing with new ones custom crafted to match.
You kinda lost me at tesserae.
Simply put, tesserae are the individual tiles which comprise a mosaic.
Sounds really interesting.
Oh, it is. It's extremely interesting. You know, I have some slides of various tesserae. Not only are they enormously informative, but they're also quite beautiful. Would you like to see them?
Sure.
Marvelous. Here we go. I adore this shade of crimson. The artistry involved in this one is incredible. Sometimes red is simply breathtaking. Has all the radiance of a sapphire. Spectacular, isn't it? Outstanding color.
I should probably get going.
Very well. I thought I had at long last found a kindred spirit, someone who shared my passion for beauty, for art, but you apparently are like everyone else, interested only in what something is worth instead of what it offers the soul.
No, please. I'd stay, but I really do need to be somewhere. Believe me, I think what you're doing is fascinating, and you obviously really know your stuff. In fact, that figurine in front of you, I've been dying to ask you about it. It's exquisite.
What, this statuette? Yes, it is exquisite. It's an example of late Etruscan bronze work, no doubt cast some 2,200 years ago. I'm not sure how Margherita came to own it, but she's very fortunate. It's almost impossible to find bronzetti of this quality outside a museum. You see, after they conquered the Etruscans, the ancient Romans melted down thousands upon thousands of statues like this just so they could make coins.
Interesting. Shoot, I wish I had time to hear more.
No, you go on. We can talk more later. Oh, a parcel was just delivered for you. It's by the door.
Thank you. Oh, shoot, I'm sorry. Here, I'll get those.
You must be my newly arrived roommate. I'm Helene Berg.
I'm Nancy Drew. Sorry for all the commotion when I came in last night. My plane got in 3 hours late.
No need to worry about waking me up. I can sleep through almost anything. But I'm sure you have things to do and places to go, so I won't keep you. Oh, by the way, there's a parcel for you in the entryway. Ciao.
This kiosk could come in handy if I ever need any reference books.
Ciao, this is Nancy Drew.
Yes, is this Detective Leporace?
Si, but please, to you I am just Sophia.
I'll remember that, Sophia.
Why do you call? Cannot be watching Fongo, he is not in his office.
I know, I just wanted to make sure this PDA thing works.
It is from the GDAF. Military equipment is good. But you are smart to test it, Nancy. And you are good to help us. We are very short-handed. Carnevale keeps the police very busy.
I just hope I can help.
Remember, when you have seen Fongo do something of interest, call me. Ciao!
Liviamo negli lieti calici che la bellezza infiora e la fulgevol ora s'inebria voluta. Liviane dolci fremiti che suscita l'amore, poiché quell'occhio al cuore onnipotente va. Libiamo, amore, amor, fra i calici più caldi bacia avrà. Sì!
Scusi, dove mangio qualcosa di economico qui?
A casa mia.
That's my pager. Antonio Fongo is in his office. Time to go to work.
Hello, Nancy, right? So, how do you like Venice?
It's all right.
You'll think differently once you've been here a couple of days. I think Venice is the most fascinating city in the world. Its history, its art, its layout, everything about it is so rich and so beautiful, and there's so much about human ingenuity. I absolutely love it.
Have you ever thought about living here?
I have indeed. In fact, every time I come here, I make an effort to meet new people. Having friends is very important to me, you see? But I don't want to move here until I can afford my own palazzo. So, until that day, I shall have to content myself with staying here wherever I can and as often as I can.
What do you do for a living?
I'm a journalist. Right now, I live in Hamburg because that's where the offices of Eurovet magazine are. I do most of my writing for them. But I know far more about Venice than I do about Hamburg. In fact, I know more about Venice than most Venetians do. I know where the best souvenir stands are, the nicest glass shops. Here, I'll make you a list of the cheapest cafes.
No, that's okay. You don't need to do that.
You don't want to know where the cheapest cafes are? Are you sure you're American?
I'm just not into touristy things, that's all.
I see.
Oh, but you could tell me what your very favorite spot in Venice is. I'd love to know that.
Oh, well, let me think. That would have to be Campo San Paolo. There's something, I don't know, something very avant-garde about it that's quite charming.
So what do you think about all this phantom thief stuff?
I probably shouldn't say this, but I think it's great. A caped figure darting down walkways beside moonlit canals, melting mist-like into the shadows, escaping not with stolen money, but stolen art. It's all just so wonderfully Venetian.
You condone what he's doing?
No, of course not. It just captures the imagination, that's all. As far as crime sprees go, this fun is rather refreshing. Il Fantasma hasn't physically hurt anyone, and has some very interesting ideas when it comes to what's worth stealing. In fact, it's altogether possible this phantom could turn out to be a woman. Whew, that would be a story I'd write for free.
Since you're a journalist and you're right here, aren't you tempted to write a story about this phantom thief person?
As a matter of fact, I am writing a story for your Welt.
So, have you dug up anything juicy?
This case is so huge the police are swamped. Apparently, they've got people coming in from all over the world to help track down leads. My contacts at the police station are too busy to give me the time of day, let alone a juicy tip. However, one of my non-police sources just told me something very interesting. He said the word on the street is that the next thing the thief steals is going to be a person.
He's going to kidnap someone?
A very wealthy someone. At least, that's the rumor.
Do you talk to Colin Baxter very much?
I try to talk to him, but he's so focused on his work. Having a decent conversation with him is virtually impossible. Once, out of politeness, I feigned an interest in what he was doing, and the next thing I knew...
He was showing you his test ray slides.
Yes! They went on and on and on! It was nightmarish. I felt like a seabird that had landed in an oil slick and couldn't fly away. The only way I could escape was to confess that I found the slides less than fascinating, which hurt his feelings terribly, I'm afraid, but it couldn't be helped.
Yeah, the same thing happened to me.
The man is obsessed, which is a shame, really. After all, he's not bad looking, and there's a touch of intrigue about him.
What do you mean?
Once, while he was working, his cell phone rang. He immediately left the room to take the call, but as he was leaving, he picked up by saying, "This is Justin." Not Colin, Justin.
He's using a fake name?
Either Justin or Colin. One of them's fake.
I'll leave you to your writing.
It's been a pleasure. Pretty locket.
Thank you. My boyfriend gave it to me.
Boyfriend. You do have it all, don't you, Nancy Drew?
If you're here for the dance audition, take a look at the dance instruction book. When you think you're ready, put the cat suit on and get on stage. If you're good enough, when the music starts, you start. Woohoo! You go, girl. Incredible! Woohoo! Wonderful! Wow! Woohoo! Wonderful! Wow! Great job! Still some rough edges though, so take that costume home and practice. What's your name?
Nancy?
Nancy. Forget it. From now on, your name's, Punchy. Punchy LaRue.
But
Next!
Sapete, è arrivato un detective
Un
detective.
da Houston.
Buongiorno. And again, welcome to Carnas Costa. I see you finally decided to get up.
actually, I've been up for a while.
Good for you. I got up, showered, and came straight up here. If it's daytime and it's sunny, no matter the time of year, this is where you will find me. They say the sun gives you wrinkles and worse, and that may be true, but it also makes you tan. To me, to be tan is good. Your accommodations, they are to your liking?
Oh, yes, the room is wonderful.
You do not mind having a roommate?
Well, sort of, but at least she doesn't snore.
I warned Prudence that you would have to share a room, but she said you had to come to Venezia this week and you had to stay here. And as we both know, what Prudence wants, Prudence gets. Have you gone outside the car yet?
Yes, in fact, I have.
Just do not forget to take your key and lock the front door whenever you leave. This is not the Palazzo Grassi, but I do have several valuable pieces of art. And with Il Fantasma, this phantom thief, running around and stealing everything, I prefer not to take any chances.
How long have you lived here?
Almost 2 years. 2 wonderful but very expensive years. The city expects homeowners like me to maintain these old buildings. But who pays for everything? We do. The Restoration Council gives us nothing, not 1 single euro. It is criminal.
You mean you can't afford it?
You miss the point. Just because I can afford to pay does not mean I should. It is the principle. It is the principle of the thing. Besides, being rich is something I like. If I am all the time spending money, I will soon be unrich.
I met the guy who's restoring the big mosaic in the main room. He's pretty intense.
Colin Baxter? I do not know how any man can find happiness looking at pieces of painted rock all day. Talking to him, it's like taking a sleeping pill. Que barba. But they say he is good, and so he works for me.
Who are they?
Everyone I know. All my friends own castles like this one. And since something is always in need of repair, we are constantly on the lookout for good workmen. And when we find them, we trade them back and forth like you Americans trade recipes for cookies. Olivia von Hellstein raved about the work he did for her. And what is good enough for the Countess of Schlosselbeck is more than good enough for me.
My roommate, Helena Berg. Does she stay here a lot?
This is the first time. I met her at a party which Rosetta Del Bene gave. When Elena found out where I lived, she practically begged me to let her stay here. And with Rosetta standing right there, well, I could not say no.
Why was she so insistent about staying here?
She said it was because the Nascosta is so centrally located. Which it is, altro che. But I think it was because I am so centrally located. She's what you call a social climber. Always asking me about parties. When they are, where they are, who is invited, what should she wear, whose name should she say to get in. Che schifo! The upper class of Venezia is closed to outsiders. Elena is full of voglio, this is true, but she will never be one of them. Us.
Guess I'll be going.
Padronissimo.
I'm too far away to see anything.
Nancy, what are you doing?
Bird watching. It's one of my hobbies.
You Americans always busy doing something. Che noia.
This looks interesting. I'd better go somewhere private and call Sophia.
He removed something from the pigeon's leg. You are positive?
Yes, he removed something, kind of studied it, then left the office.
Maybe he is using a trained pigeon to communicate with someone. Yes, this could be true, because we know that by phone he talks to almost no one. Here is what we will do. I will deliver to you a tracking device. You will sneak into Fango's office when he is not there and feed it to the pigeon. After that, you can use your PDA to see in what direction it has flown.
You want me to feed a tracking device to a pigeon?
It will be very, very tiny, but I do not want to leave it at the ATM. If you go there too much, people will get suspicious. So we will leave it for you in the costume store in Campo Santa Maria Formosa. It will be hidden among the things there. You will have to find it.
How will I know what it looks like?
Very soon, I will send a picture of it to your PDA. But you must locate the device quickly. If you do not find it in time, it will destroy itself. If that happens, we will hide another device. Your PDA will show you where we have hidden it.
You want me to feed a tracking device that self-destructs to a pigeon?
The self-destruct mechanism will automatically deactivate when you pick it up. And do not worry. The device will not hurt the pigeon after it is swallowed.
Well, then I guess I'm on my way to Campo Santa Maria Formosa.
After you have fed the tracking device to the pigeon, you must do two things. You must find out where the pigeon goes when it leaves Fango's, and you must discover what it is carrying. Call me when you know these things. Ciao.
pasta fresca di tutti I tipi, fatta a casa.
Looks like I'm going to have to pick this lock somehow. Hello?
Hello, is this Nancy?
Miss Rutherford, yes, it's Nancy. How are you?
Well, to be honest, I'm rather peeved. Were you or were you not to call me just as soon as you were settled in there at the car?
I'm sorry, I should have called, but I've been very busy.
And I've been very worried. I was afraid Margarita had allowed my beloved Canis Coaster to fall into such a state of disrepair that it was no longer habitable.
Oh, no, the car is fine.
Oh, that's a relief. So, how goes the case? Captain Brassica said he was going to send you a parcel. Has it arrived?
Yes, it sure has.
Good. The sooner you get to work, the better. I talked you up quite a bit, you know. Both the GDIF and the local gendarmerie are expecting great things from you. As am I. No one wants this phantom scoundrel captured more than I do.
I'm flattered, Miss Rutherford, and I'll do my best. But it's not like I'm a superhero or anything. Like I told you, I just like solving mysteries.
Just see that you solve this one in a timely fashion, dear. We leave on a cruise in 2 weeks, and I shan't be able to enjoy a second of it until I know all those stolen works of art have been recovered.
I get the feeling Margarita's not real happy about my staying here at the car.
That is just tough tiddlywinks. Putting you up is the least she can do for me after all I've done for her.
Just what have you done for her?
I made the mistake of helping her pay for some of the repairs that reared their ugly little heads after I sold her the car. I did so not because of any legal obligation, but because of my abiding affection for the place and all things Venetian. She is such a cheapskate. I feared she would ignore what had to be done until the car crumbled into ruins.
How did she get to be such a cheapskate?
When her husband died, he left Margarita everything, which amounted to a small fortune. What he didn't leave her, however, was even the slightest clue as to what to do with it. And now, after years of bad investments and wasteful spending, she's starting to feel the pinch. But I'm afraid it's my erstwhile residence there in Venezia that must pay the price for her fiscal ineptitude.
I'll let you get back to whatever it is you're doing.
As it happens, I'm writing my memoirs. They shall be called The Principles of Prudence. Unfortunately, this has necessitated my hiring an assistant. You really must stop thinking bad thoughts about Ginger. Yes, you are. Just look how she's shaking. The other day, poor Ginger mistook the shapeless lump of leather my assistant called her purse for a doggy toy and ripped it to shreds. She's still a bit perturbed. Although, believe you me, Ginger did her a massive favor. Anyway, if you ever cannot reach me, it means we are hard at work. Bonne chance!
Interesting flavor. I'm not feeling so good.
Nancy? Are you all right?
Oh my gosh! You're positively clean! Nancy?
Oh, I should so not have eaten those sausages.
Hanno fatto anche un film.
Secondo me Giuseppe è travestito.
Oh my gosh, Fongo's coming back!
Vieni qui, piccioncino, vieni. Vola.
Looks like some cards are missing. Gotcha! Hello? What kind of message is that? I'd better call Sophia.
Nancy, you have tracked the pigeon.
After it left Fongo's, it flew to Campo Santa Margherita. It landed right next to this place called Casa dei Giochi.
Casa dei Giochi. You are sure?
Yeah? Is something wrong?
Casa dei Giochi is a private club owned by Enrico Tazza. The police suspect that he fences stolen goods for big criminals like Leo Macchiano. If Fongo is working for the Phantom, perhaps Tazza is working for him too. Look around the Casa dei Giochi, Nancy. Talk to Tazza if you can. Get on his good side. See how much you can find out without making him suspicious. Was the pigeon carrying a message?
Yes, but all it says is hello in English, followed by an exclamation point.
There is a dot at the bottom of this exclamation point.
Yeah?
You must find a microscope and examine this dot, Nancy. If Fongo was sending a message to Tazza, maybe it's hidden there.
A microdot, of course. I'll do that. I'll find a microscope and take a look at it.
If I do not hear from you, you will hear from me.
Vuoi venire a cena da me domani, Vania?
Certo, mi piacerebbe tanto.
C'è anche Giuseppe, ti ricordi Giuseppe, quello strano
Me lo
professore?
ricordo, sì, che carino.
Beh, carino mica tanto.
Scusi, posso farle una domanda?
Dica.
Come mai tutte le gondole
Looks
sono
like that's it.
Per mettere in rilievo la pelle delicata e bianca delle vene.
La mia lavatrice si è rotta, Vania. Posso usare la tua?
Ma non lo so, devi chiedere a mio marito.
Uffa, sempre tuo marito.
Another package?
Tutte le gondole sono
Per mettere in rilievo la pelle delicata e bianca delle veneziane.
And I want you both to know that I am very sorry if that American girl is bothering you. It was not my idea for her to stay here, believe you me.
Yikes, they're talking about me. I shouldn't listen,
She doesn't bother me.
Nor me. In fact, I rather like her.
but I'm going to anyway.
This is because she spends most of her time on the roof bothering me. She is always up there looking through binoculars. She says she is bird watching.
Bird watching? She doesn't strike me as a type.
I'm a bit of a bird watcher myself. Just this morning I saw a flock of ibises near San Giorgio.
I was trapped at a party once by a bird watcher named Red Knot. All he talked about was grosbeaks and juncos and towies. I almost died of the boredom. Anyway, I apologize for the trouble she makes. If she bothers you, you tell me and I will tell her.
Oh, she's fine.
She's quite fine, actually.
If you change your mind, you know where to find me.
This looks interesting. The handwriting on this envelope is the same as the handwriting on the note that came with the sausages, which means Colin sent them. I don't feel like going to bed yet.
Nancy, I've been worried about you. How are you feeling?
A little angry, actually. Now that I know it was you who left those sausages in my room, the ones that gave me food poisoning.
What sausages? I didn't leave sausages in your room.
The note they came with said they were from you.
Well, someone else must have written it and signed my name, because I promise you, I did not leave any sausages or any note in your room.
The handwriting matches the handwriting on the note I found in that book on religious relics. The one that belongs to you.
All right, yes, it was me, but I had no idea those sausages were tainted. I just thought you might like them. I tried to lie my way out of it because I couldn't bear for you to know that I made such a ghastly mistake. But before you write me off as a feckless liar and an utter fool, just know that I am truly sorry. Causing you to be miserable was absolutely the last thing I wanted to do.
Well, I'm fine now, and everyone makes mistakes, so apology accepted. But I'm still kind of mad that you lied to me.
I don't blame you one iota, but I'll make it up to you. I don't know how yet, but I will. I promise.
Would it be okay if I used your microscope?
I have a very strict policy when it comes to my equipment. No one touches it but me. And now, you. I trust you, Nancy. Please, be my guest.
Oh, thank you. Hello?
Nancy, I do not hear from you. Have you examined the microdot the pigeon was carrying?
Yes, I have. Sorry, I should have called. Anyway, the message, which was written in English, said, Il Dottore requests you to change the safe room lock combination to 43556.
Il Dottore?
Yes, which is really interesting because in his office, Fango has a poster of Commedia dell'arte masks. He's crossed out all but 5 of the masks, and among the ones that aren't crossed out are the Brighella mask.
The mask the Phantom wears.
Right, and the mask for Il Dottore wasn't crossed out either. And it was in the middle, like it was more important than the others. And when I went back to the place where I'm staying, a box of chocolates had just been delivered for someone named Il Dottore, which means it's very possible that Il Dottore is one of the people at the Canoscosta.
Perhaps Fango and the Phantom and whoever else they are working with are going by the names of Commedia dell'arte characters. This would make it easier to secretly communicate with each other. And if that's true, perhaps those chocolates are a message of some kind. And if Il Dottore was at the center of that poster you saw, perhaps the person the message was meant for is the ringleader.
Just what I was thinking.
Here is what we will do. I will have a technician hide tracking devices in objects these people are likely to carry around with them. Then, when we know which of them is Il Dottore, we will activate the appropriate device and be able to follow him.
Awesome! Let's see, Helena's always writing, so for her I could plant a bug in her pen maybe. And Margarita is always sunning herself, so you could hide a bug for her in a sunglasses case. But for Colin, you could bug a mosaic tile. You know, a tessera?
He is likely to carry a mosaic tile on his person?
If it's from me, he will. Long story.
This is good information, Nancy. I will have our technician prepare the 2 bugged objects and the device which you will hide in the pen, then leave them for you in the Banca dell'Oro ATM. You should give them to each person as soon as you get them.
Will do. Keep your fingers crossed.
My fingers are always crossed.
What is your name?
Samantha Quick.
You are early, but please come in. Enrico is at the scopa table.
Ah, sono Enrico Tazza. Benvenuta a Venezia.
I'm sorry, but if it's all right with you, I'd prefer to speak English.
Of course, whatever you wish. What a pleasant surprise. I wasn't expecting you until after Carnevale.
Is that a problem?
Oh, of course not. The sooner you get to work, the sooner we will be compensated. So, you're not only young and attractive, but enthusiastic as well. Tell me more about yourself, Samantha.
I'd rather just get down to business. Because frankly, telling my life story to someone wearing a mask is just a little too freaky for me.
I understand. Besides, having never met you before, I would have no way of knowing if what you tell me is a lie or the truth. I always wear the same costume for Carnevale. Why? Because I'm a very superstitious man. I believe that always doing things a certain way brings good fortune. For instance, I never discuss business with anyone unless and until that person beats me at the game of Scopa. Are you familiar with the game?
Never heard of it.
It's a card game, very popular in Venice. We play it with the traditional Italian deck of 40 cards. There are 4 suits in a scopa deck: coins, cups, swords, and clubs. Each suit has 10 cards. 7, the most valuable card. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and ace. There are also 3 face cards: valet, knight, king. When you are taking tricks during the game, each card is worth what it says, with a valet worth 8, a knight 9, and a king 10. However, for scoring at the end of the game, 7s are the most valuable, followed by 6s, aces, 5s, 4s, 3s, 2s, then all face cards. For scoring, these are called primes. To play the game, 3 cards are dealt to each player, then 4 cards are placed face up in the play area. If 3 kings appear, the cards are redealt. The player who did not deal the cards goes first. When it is your turn, you must play 1 card and 1 card only from your hand. Now, you have a 2 and there is a 2 in the play area. So you will play your 2 and take a trick. I discard a valet worth 8. You cannot make a match, so you discard your 3. I discard the 2. Now, because you have a knight in your hand, which is worth 9, and there is a 6 and a 3 in the play area, 6 plus 3 equals 9, which means you have a match and you take a trick. I discard my ace, and because we are both out of cards, I deal us both 3 more cards. Ah, you have a 7 in your hand. You also have an ace, which is worth 1, a 4, and a 2 in the play area, which add up to 7. But there is also a 7 in the play area. So, which do you match with your 7? The 3 cards that add up to 7, or the 7? The rules say when presented with such a choice, you must take the trick by collecting the single card. And so, you match your 7 card with the 7 card in the play area and take a trick. I make a match with the valet and take a trick. You have yet another 7 in your hand. Now you match it with the ace, the 4, and the 2 and take a trick. And since you have taken the last card in the play area, you say scopa and get a point. We continue to play by discarding and taking tricks until all 40 cards have been played. At that point, we count the points we have won by taking tricks and getting scopas. The first person to get 11 or more points wins. If no one has 11 or more points, the deck is shuffled, the other person deals, and we play another round. Are you ready to play?